At this time, let me bring our third and final evaluator, Alfonso, who will be evaluating Roman's speech.
Roman may have solved one of the longest-standing mysteries tonight. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, honors guests, and of course, Roman. Roman, you had a specific request for me to assess maybe your body language and just your gestures. Unfortunately, I think there was other areas that were probably a little bit more pronounced. Now, body language, today you actually stood a little bit in this area. In the past, you've used the more of the stage. So I was kind of looking a little bit for a little bit more exaggerated, more motion. I would have to kind of think a little bit more about your presentation, but the chicken and the egg, well, the chickens in general have a lot of animated things that if you're brave, you could mimic or pretend, especially the funny part when you said, have you noticed chickens are stupid? Just a body language of that. Again, it's a brave move for any of us to even attempt or pretend to be chickens. So again, that's just a stretch. Maybe that's the challenge here. But some of the things that I did find interesting about the presentation is you're definitely a great storyteller. And part of it, and some of you might agree, accents seem to draw us in, and we tend to be a little bit more forgiving with the grammar sometimes because it adds to the flavor of the conversation. As you mentioned, Israel for Gilbert, you improve some of the grammar, and I noticed Mahirin also had a little bit of grammar issues, but the accents kind of add flavor to it. So I'm not completely opposed to the improper grammar, but yes, there is some area for improvement, and that just comes from practice. I did appreciate the photo because that actually linked the story about what you were talking about. The concept that you brought was very interesting, so the topic was interesting. Again, selecting topics draws the audience in. How else can you draw the audience in? Well, I think maybe an alternate title could have been the chicken or the egg. That would have been a funny kind of title, although Glorious Ancestry was kind of there. But it took a while for me to see, okay, where does that kick in? But again, it's just a curiosity. Remember, a title is to be a hook to bring the audience in. So again, I really enjoyed the way you created it. And you kind of, maybe 90% convinced me that I can see what two things have to produce a product, and that product is, in fact, or could be the chicken. So that was an interesting conclusion. And one thing I will challenge you and the other speakers, is just jump into the story. You had a great intro, but it was only after you had said, today I'm going to do this or I'm going to do that. Do it up front and kind of do what I did. Make a statement and then say, good evening, fellow Toastmasters and honored guests. You would have totally grabbed us with the combination of your subject, your personality, and all that was missing was the hook. But I do commend you on the conclusion. Great job.
Thank you, Alfonso.